I'm seeing Wicked alone right now. Please stop talking.
Welcome back to episode 89 of the Movie Rebrew podcast. With me today is a man who certainly does not have a dog shit dynasty fantasy football team. Welcome back to the pod in costume, Liam Garvin.
Let's go. Fucking 1-0 against Mike on the year. Shout out to David Montgomery for scoring a 50-yard touchdown to end the game. I had a screenshot ready. But yeah, Mike, hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was.
You said I was in costume. What movie are we covering? I was just wearing this.
One battle after
another. I had to
run
out for some errands.
Yeah, we're doing one battle after another. Liam's just wearing his normal streetwear that he wears around DC. So I also am drinking a beer. Do you have a beer on you?
I do. I have the same beer that I had last time because I didn't drink all of them, but it is Dad Strength IPA, and this movie is basically the personification of dad strength in a movie. We can get into it more when we get into the movie, but this movie's kind of about the power of dad strength.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, this is actually ties in way better than the last time you drank this on this pod. I agree. I'm drinking a Modelo, which I already had in my fridge, but also they drink in this movie. And so, yeah, those will be our beers. My favorite joke in this movie is when Leo goes, "I'm an adult. I know how to drink and drive."
Yeah.
So bad, so funny.
Benicio del Toro in this movie is so good and like not overplaying it ever. Like he's just like calm, cool, and collected. I feel like there's a version of a side character in a movie like this that is really trying to like steal scenes and like grab the attention very showily, but like he is just like, so he's like in control somehow, even though he's not in control. Like he's just got this calm, cool, collected attitude. So when he does say something funny, it's like when he says the lines of like, just had a few little beers, is like way funnier.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, that's like just perfect casting. I could have used more of him just because every time he was on screen, it was awesome. But we'll get more into that in a second. I wrote it down to remember to come back to that. But I don't have any news, Liam, and I actually am very excited to talk about this movie. Do you have any news? Anything worth sharing? You did a triathlon.
Yeah, I did. Olympic length. Not the full shindig, but yeah, I did a triathlon. That's not really news. Is there other movie? Did anyone die or anything? What was the last?
Robert Redford died before our last pod. We already gave him a shout out. The Rock movie kind of bombed at the box office.
Oh yeah, The Smashing Machine. Did you see it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. It's currently sitting at like 75 on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score isn't that great, and it was weirdly expensive. Cost $50 million to make, and it only made 5.9 the opening week, even though it's projected to make 20. So
I mean, how much of that is going to like The Rock and Emily Blunt? Like I would assume that half of that salary or half of that has to be going to The Rock. Like maybe The Rock took a pay cut, but The Rock probably makes $50 million a movie. Like even if he took a pay cut, they're paying him 10. Like
I would imagine that The Rock probably makes about 20 million a movie. And so I agree with you. I bet he took a pay cut, but I bet he still got 10.
This movie they had to pay for that fake nose and forehead and shit. That probably wasn't cheap.
I agree that like this movie shouldn't have cost $50 million. It was probably bad budgeting on their part. So it's not really surprising that this movie's, I think it's projected to make like 20 million on a $50 million budget. 20 million seems kind of low, but doesn't seem that low for like an indie type Oscar award movie that maybe isn't quite as well reviewed as they wanted.
Yeah. Compared to any other like A24 release.
Yeah. And I think the issue is that, I don't know, it's one of those movies. I think they were hoping to get like the people that like the action rock movies to come out to this movie, where I don't think the trailers would have been that enticing to those people. And then
Yeah.
with it not necessarily being that well reviewed, I don't think a lot of people got to the theaters. It's also kind of in the middle of no man's land. It's a little bit early in the awards season, and also too late for summer movies. And then you also have One Battle After Another, which is doing quite well at the box office. So I think, like, if you really like movies and you want to see something that's going to be well reviewed, do well come awards season, those people are seeing One Battle After Another. Like, there's a reason why I haven't seen it yet. It's because, like, I saw One Battle After Another, and I'll probably get to this in the next couple weeks, but I wasn't dying for
Yeah.
this movie to come out.
No, I thought about seeing it today, but then I saw that the only showtime was 8 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm not going out that late to see the Smashing Machine. Like,
my brother Chuck
and I'm
saw
way
it.
more excited for Marty Supreme too. Like,
Oh,
compared to the two Safdie brothers movies, I'm way more excited for Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme than I am this one.
for sure, for sure. I'm just interested to see The Rock's performance in this, but I don't. It's one of those things where it's like, based on what I'm hearing right now, I don't even know if I'm going to see this movie. Like, it might be something I wait till it comes out streaming. I'm not like
Yeah,
dying to see this movie. Marty Supreme does look sick. I haven't seen a trailer for it yet, but I guess it's out there. I guess it's more of like a
yeah.
family movie type vibes.
Is it?
I
I only saw like the teaser or the picture of Chalamet with the glasses and like a suit, and I guess I have no idea what it's about. I just know that it's called Marty Supreme, that he's in it, and I guess I was picturing some type of like classic Safdie brothers, like high octane, good time slash gun cut gems, but like with Chalamet in the lead role. But again, I have no idea what it's about.
he's a table tennis player, Marty Supreme.
Oh, so it's not about that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he has a bad gambling addiction. I don't know. Maybe he can't
Yeah,
hit a parlay on DraftKings. I'm not sure. I don't know. I imagine there's a really good true story behind it. I just saw this movie was
yeah,
also $70 million budget, which seems really high. And so
yeah.
maybe A24 should have pulled back the reins a little bit on their budgets at the Safdie brothers.
It's
Like, I'm
A24's most expensive film ever. It's more than Civil War, like that came out last year. Like that's great.
it's what
70 million. Like what is going on in this fucking
I don't
movie?
I don't know. Yeah, like Uncut Gems. Guess Uncut Gems budget.
I mean, nobody in like it's probably like 20 million, if that, right? Like,
19 million. Yeah, which seems more
yeah,
appropriate. I like granted there's not a bunch of big actors in that movie other than Adam Sandler, but like and it made 50 million. So they made money on it. Um I just think these budgets, I don't know what A24 is doing. Kevin Garnett
I don't
probably
know.
worked for the minimum.
Well, also in I'm looking at the cast for Marty Supreme. Tracy McGrady is in it.
Really?
Penn Jillette is in it. Yeah.
I knew
Tyler the Creator's in it.
Kevin O'Leary's in it. I think he's a billed actor in it. I think he's like the fourth billing.
Yeah, he as Milton Rockwell. Like I have no idea
Yeah, he's fourth billed.
what this is going to be about.
Either do I.
Like, is he gonna meet just regular Tracy McGrady? Probably, right? Like I have no idea.
But 1950s Tracy McGrady?
Is this when this takes place?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it takes
Oh,
place.
then I have no idea. Is
Marty
Tracy
Supreme.
McGrady playing Bill Russell or something?
All I know exactly. Well, Marty Supreme's a real person, I guess. He doesn't have a Wikipedia
Yeah.
page though, so I don't know how real he is. I mean, I'm sure he's real, but I don't know how famous he is. I should say. And I think he was a table tennis player from like the 50s to 60s. So I don't know. Maybe Tracy McGrady's playing Bill Russell. It doesn't have an actor named to Tracy McGrady. Also, Tracy McGrady's like 6'9", so like he kind of has to
I
play
know.
some kind
I'm
of
just telling you
basketball
what
player.
I'm looking at on Wikipedia, isn't it? It
No,
says it says Tracy McGrady's gonna be
I'm
in it.
looking at the same thing too. I don't know. Kevin O'Leary, I think, is going to be in this movie like a lot, judging by what I'm seeing on the Wikipedia page and nothing else. But
Yeah.
fourth build and has an actual name next to him. I'm looking forward to that for sure. All right, dude.
All
Want to
right,
get into the
sorry for
movie?
derailing. I know you said let's not talk about anything else besides the movie, and I derailed it immediately.
No. You can derail away. But we will talk about One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson's, I think, 12th feature length film. And it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, and Chase Infiniti. Do you want to kick it off or want me to kick it off?
I'll kick it off. First of
All right.
all, correction, this is only PTA's 10th film.
My
So
bad.
PTA has made 10 movies over the course of 30 years now. Heart 8 came out in 96, so
Yeah.
he's on like every 3 years or so. Um, this is it's getting incredible reviews. This was one of the most hyped movies I have seen in like I mean, I guess maybe since Sinners earlier this year, but like in terms of someone who is like mildly plugged into movie reviewers and movie review podcasts, like when I saw the reviews on Letterboxd coming out for this, it was 5 star, 5 star. I didn't see a person I follow rate it below 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. Like it was incredibly hyped, and I think it lived up to it to me. Like I think my general opinion is that I like this movie a lot. Um, it's an interesting movie for PTA to make. I think PTA compared to a lot of other, he's one of those filmmakers that like he's someone that like an average person might know who they are. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
they even if you're not a big movie fan, you might be familiar with Paul Thomas Anderson because you love Boogie Nights and because or There Will Be Blood. And he compared to I think a lot of other actors of that maybe or not actors, directors of that he doesn't really have a signature style per se. He doesn't have a signature genre that he really works in. Maybe if you know movies better than I do, you can point to certain things. But I'm kind of a recent PTA convert, and it's been, going from starting with Boogie Nights, and you will see like Punch Drunk Love and Magnolia, and There Will Be Blood, and there's just so much variation. And this is kind of, I don't know which of his movies you would most compare this to. Uh, and it's not really like any other movie that's out right now. Like it's the thing that struck me about it is it is an action adventure movie, I guess, a thriller, but it's not an action movie like how action movies are being made right now. In a post John Wick world, every action hero is John Wick. And I'm trying to think of the two movies that came out this year. There was Nobody, there's that fucking Bob Odenkirk movie, and I also saw
Nobody too.
Love Hurts and what do you call it? Love Hurts and Novocaine. And every single one of those movies are like John Wick action. Every single one is doing the exact John Wick action. And despite this being an action movie, Leo in this is not an action hero at all. He's fucking bumbling around. He never looks athletic at any point. Like any time he's running, it does not like he looks like a 55-year-old man who drinks heavily. And it's to the benefit of the movie. I don't know what I'm leading up to this, but I think it's great movie, great step for or great direction for PTA to go, and I think an interesting movie right now in terms of just like what it is, not even like what it says or what it, but just like how this movie is made and what it is there's not a lot of things like it out there, especially that are making over $100 million.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think it's certainly not every year, but every once in a while, it does feel like there's a movie that comes out that is like incredibly well reviewed. This is currently saying at 95% Rotten Tomatoes, done by like an actor who's beloved, and it's just like you need to see this movie. Like I don't know, like La La Land comes to mind. I'm trying to think of like other like ones where like you just know that this is going to be nominated for Best Picture. You know that this is maybe going to win, if not at least be in the discussion like right away. Like as soon as reviews were coming out, you're like, all right, the hype train is real. I agree with you. Was almost similar to that as well, though. But with it just being like PTA, as you said, like it's crazy that he's only actually made 10 films. But yeah, he makes one like every 4 years now, looking at his filmography. So it's like almost every Summer Olympics type pace. And yeah, with it being the hype this high, with it being Leo, who hasn't been a movie, I don't think since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, unless I'm forgetting something. Like the hype was
He was in Don't Look Up. I think Don't Look Up was his last movie.
Was Don't Look Up before Once
Was
Upon a
that
Time in
21?
Hollywood?
No, I think Don't Look Up was a COVID Netflix release. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but when was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was 19.
Okay, then
Oh, he was in
I'm.
Killers of the Flower Moon also.
Oh shit, yeah,
Kind of a big movie.
yeah, kind of a big movie. You're right. So, but Leo's only been in what, 2 movies the last 5 years. So I mean, the hype
Yeah.
train was already there for just it having Leo as well. And so you go into this movie, and I love Paul Thomas Anderson. He's certainly a top 5 favorite director from me. Um, Liam, I agree with you. He doesn't really necessarily have a style. He makes movies about that take place in Southern California. That's kind of really his only like connection between them all. I think other than Phantom Thread, which I believe takes place in Europe. I believe it's England. All the other ones take place in Southern California, and a lot of them have to do like the San Bernardino Valley where he grew up in. But this one sort of does, but it doesn't really feel like it's part of his childhood. Like a lot of his movies also feel like he's talking about his childhood, um, like Licorice Pizza and Boogie Nights to some extent. At least that's the area that he grew up in. And Magnolia, he has said that that's a movie about his dad, whose dad had just passed away of cancer, and so a lot of his stuff, I do think that he kind of ties back home to his upbringing. Other than this movie taking place in it, I don't necessarily think this movie has that same connection. But with that being said, I do think that his movies are just. I think what I like most about him is that they all do feel very different. Um, I love Wes Anderson, but you can tell a Wes Anderson movie from a mile away. And his most recent movie, drawing a blank on it, what was it? The Phoenician
Uh,
Scheme. The
Phoenician
Phoenician
Scheme. I
Scheme.
couldn't think of it either.
I know the Phoenician Scheme. Like it's a good movie, but I'm like I feel like I've already seen this movie again. I feel like Paul Thomas Anderson. Licorice Pizza was probably a little bit closer to like a Boogie Nights type kind of hangout movie, kind of similar vibes like that. Obviously, different topic, but like most of his movies feel very different and very unique, and this one definitely does as well. And I agree with you that this movie feels very out of place in modern day, especially like modern day movies that are being made for over $100 million, like super out of place. And I think that's a really good thing. I understand and I kind of got the hype as I was watching it. I felt very quickly that this was going to become an instant classic. And weirdly enough, I think this is probably, I don't know, I guess this might be closest to like There Will Be Blood, but like it's not because it's not a period piece, but like it does take place over like many, many years. And it is kind of just like one guy
Hmm.
kind of just like following his life. If I have to put it to something, I think maybe it's closest to There Will Be Blood, but also like not close at all. But
Yeah.
it's also like a father daughter relationship. Like There Will Be Blood's a lot to do with the him and his son. But yeah, it's a damn good movie. The action sequences are awesome. There's a car chase at the end of this movie that I think is one of my favorite shot scenes in a long, long time. And there's twists and there's turns, and Sean Penn gives just this incredible performance. I'm gonna plant my flag that he's probably gonna win Best Supporting Actor. That's how good
Yeah.
I thought he was. Yeah, he's so good. I would like to see a lot of people get a lot of love in this movie. I thought it was extremely well acted, and yeah, it was really really good. I think I don't know. It's you could tell it was by a seasoned director because it almost like it's one of those things where it's like how innovative was this movie? Maybe not that innovative, but it was just so damn good and so well
Yeah.
done and so entertaining. It's just like you walk out of the theater and you're like, Paul Thomas Anderson is such a damn good director. Um,
Yeah.
and like, I'm interested in seeing this movie again already. And so for me, if I'm going to score it here, this is really, really close to a 9. I probably regret not giving it a 9 a couple months from now, but I'm going to give this like an 8.8. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, obviously, and I would certainly watch it again.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go 8.9, just below 9. Uh, it's the quickest 2 hours and 40 minutes I've ever spent in a theater too. Because I think something that I was also thinking compared to some of his other movies that they're a bit of not
Bloated.
not necessarily a slow burn, but it's a bit like especially something like There Will Be Blood. It's a lot of build up to these big moments, and not in a bad way, but like you get those explosive moments from Daniel Day-Lewis. And this movie, there's a version of this movie where there's a lot more time spent before the government shows up in Colorado or wherever they are, or
Hmm.
Utah.
Yeah.
Uh, but really, that's like there's like 10 minutes of that, maybe not even. Like it's literally just the one scene of Leo being like, "Hey, you going to the dance or whatever?" And then they're at the dance. Like this movie kicks into gear and does not stop in a way that some of his other movies do not. And like I was at the end of this movie, I was like, there has to be more. They said this movie was 2 hours and 40 minutes. There's no way that it just ends right here. It's only been like an hour 35.
No, yeah, I agree. I think my biggest issue with Paul Thomas Anderson is that his movies are so damn long. A lot of them feel bloated, especially his earlier works. Actually, even Phantom Thread and Licorice Pizza. In general, his movies are just bloated, I think. I've heard him say that he wished he would have edited Magnolia down a little bit more. Like that movie doesn't need to be 3 hours long. I love Magnolia, but I do think in general his movies are probably a little bit too long. Something interesting that I read about this movie, Liam, is that this is the first time he used test screening since Boogie Nights. He's usually
Mm.
against it. I don't know if it's for like he doesn't want things to leak or whatnot, but he actually did test screening for this one in January, and then he went back and edited off 11 minutes of this movie. And so I think I think this movie doesn't quite seem as bloated. I think the pacing of this movie is actually great.
Yeah.
It's a big tale they're trying to tell. It's warranted to have a 160-minute runtime because it's taking place over a couple decades. And there's a lot of characters and there's a lot of loose ends that they need to tie up and stuff. So I think it was worthy of its runtime. And I do think that the reason why this movie probably is so good is that Paul Thomas Anderson, I think I've heard him say a couple times that he probably could have cut off some minutes from other movies in the past. I think he's learned from that, and I think that
Hmm.
he went back and actually edited out. I think 10 minutes is what I read, and I think that really helps the pacing of this movie. Um, yeah, like I agree with you that it maybe is a little bit too long the build up before like the action really starts, but I don't know. Like I just love these characters. I loved where they were living in the witness protection program so much, their little life that they were building, that I just thought it was super cool. Like I enjoyed all of that up until kind of where the action starts, where I had no issues. Like there's not really a part where I was like, oh, I would cut that out. So yeah, I think
Oh yeah.
I think yeah, I think from like a pacing standpoint, that's probably Paul Thomas Anderson's biggest issue historically. I think he crushed it here. Yeah, and it's a Johnny Greenwood score who he's collaborated with, I think, in the last like, I don't know, 6 or 7 movies he's collaborated with. And once again, it's an absolute killer score. I loved it. I think, when you know that it's probably going to be a good score, you're kind of listening for it more often. But I definitely was listening to it in a lot of the more intense scenes. And I think it was definitely delivering for me. Extremely well shot. Yeah. Action sequences were good, just all around, just like such a professional movie. Just so clean, so well done. Yeah, really not a whole lot of complaints before we get into spoilers. Anything
Yeah.
else from you before we kind of dive into it?
No, I don't. I'm trying to think before if there's anything non-spoilery. Because I mean, there is kind of spoilers like 10 minutes in. I don't like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movie kind of like kicks off into spoiler
yeah,
uh territory. But yeah, I'm thinking I feel like they might go. Leo's probably going to get a Best Actor nomination. I bet Benicio del Toro or Sean. They might do both. I know they've done both in the past for uh, other movies. They probably would just do Sean Penn. I feel like they're going to sneak in like Regina Hall as supporting actress just because whenever there's a movie that's this well regarded, they might give they tend to just kind of like throw out nominations like that.
yeah.
I could have done with more Wood Harris, aka Julius from Remember the Titans. I thought he was going to be in it more. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of him, though we got a hilarious scene with him. I would love to see the daughter get a nomination.
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
she's basically she would be mild like she's kind of the co-lead of this movie. Like I think she would probably get a supporting actress nomination because it is Leo's movie. Uh, but it really is about her and Leo at the end of the day. Like they're both basically leading it, and she's in most of the movie.
Yeah, no, I
And really,
agree.
the action of this movie, like I guess we're kind of getting into spoilers here. This is kind of one of those movies where, at the end of the day, the stuff that was all really happening, it was just Leo trying to find. Like this is a movie that I think if you're being really harsh to it, and you're kind of like a person who doesn't understand movies, you can just kind of reduce it down to its core elements and be like, well, Leo didn't really do anything. He just like chased her and then found her. And like he's never, he just if Leo's time in this movie is spent he fell off a he fell off a roof and then he gets arrested and then he gets let go out of the hospital and then him and Benicio del Toro drive to a place and he misses some shots and then he drives to another place and like that's all he does. And if you're someone on Reddit who I saw today, this was me calling out specifically one person on Reddit who annoyed me. You can be like, well, the plot was. It's like that's not what it's about. Like, yeah, like if you want to be a dick and reductive, the real driving action is from Chase Infiniti as Willa in this.
Yeah,
Uh, but she's not going to get a. They're not going to give her Best Actress nomination for this. So I bet she might get Best Supporting rather than
yeah.
Regina Hall.
I feel like they'll probably shove her in supporting, which she's definitely not supporting, but they tend to do that. And I think she may get a nomination, but this is going to get like, I don't know, 10, 11 noms. I think this is going to win Best
Yeah,
Picture. Paul Thomas Anderson's never won an
you
Academy
think it?
Award. Yeah, I think this is going to win Best Picture. I think they're going to give Paul Thomas Anderson director. I think it's going to win Best Picture. It may win Best Adapted Screenplay. I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna do very, very well. Just because, like, the fact that Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't have an Academy Award right now, a lot of times these are lifetime achievement awards at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna this is definitely a good enough movie that I think they're gonna and it's a huge budget. Like they're gonna put a lot of money behind the award campaign as well. Like I honestly think, yeah, I think this is gonna win Best Picture, win Best Director. Like it may be kind of boring. It might just win like everything.
yeah.
That's how I kind of think.
I think what you can kind of maybe compare this to, not as a movie, but in terms of what it is right now, it reminds me a bit of what happened with No Country for Old Men, where the Coen brothers had been established, respected directors for 20 years. They had gotten Frances McDormand had won an acting Oscar for Fargo, and they won, I think, best screenplay for Fargo. But then their No Country for Old Men comes out, and just like the word of mouth of like you got to see this fucking movie, and it just like swept every award at the Academy Awards, and it finally kind of felt like it was a combination of a lifetime achievement award, but also like an undeniably perfect film. It wasn't a lifetime achievement award like it somehow can be for acting Oscars, especially like think of Leo and The Revenant. But it was just
Yeah.
like that the combination of those two things of like a recognition of 20 to 30 years of great work, but also like one of the most powerhouse films that a well directed, well respected director had made.
Yeah, and the irony there is, I agree with you. I think that's a great analogy. But the irony here is that Paul Thomas Anderson and There Will Be Blood were the big losers due to No Country for Old Men sweeping all that stuff.
Yeah,
Because up until this point, I think without a doubt, There Will Be Blood is regarded as Paul Thomas Anderson's magnum opus. It still probably is his magnum opus. I don't think this movie's to that regards, because There Will Be Blood is oftentimes mentioned among like the greatest films of the 21st century. One Battle for Another, it's really, really good, and it may eventually kind of age that way. But I think that this movie is good enough to where 20, 30 years of great work, they just kind of give it to it. Not saying it's not deserving, but that's how I see this playing out.
yeah, and I don't even know like what I'm sure I'm looking at like the best Oscar the odds right now, and
Yeah, is
it's
it?
like Frankenstein. They already gave one to Del Toro. Sinners, I mean, Sinners would be like not a bad pick, but like Avatar Fire and Ash has like the sixth best odds. Obviously, fucking Avatar 3 is not going to win Best Picture. Is this thing on? That is not going to win Best Picture. Marty Supreme. I mean, if Marty Supreme just knocks people's socks off, but are they going to get? I feel like they're not going to give Best Picture to a singular Safdie brother with a movie about table tennis. I don't know. I think you're right. I think this is far and away right now the favorite.
Yeah, no, and I think the only thing that could potentially beat it is honestly Sinners. Um,
Yeah,
but you know, man, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Director of Sinners,
Coogler, Brian
Coogler.
Coogler.
Yeah, Coogler's never won an Academy Award either, I don't believe. And so, like, I kind of thought that it may be Sinners' year, kind of for what I'm saying right now. But Paul Thomas Anderson's just so much more well established than Coogler. No offense to Coogler, but I mean, like, Paul Thomas Anderson is probably, if you pulled Hollywood in the top 5 of their favorite actors, I mean, favorite directors of all time. And the fact that he's been doing it for 30 years and doesn't have anything. And I think One Battle After Another and Sinners are close enough to where it's like, yeah, we'll probably get to One Battle After Another. But who knows? I mean, we still have months left. Maybe something could sneak up. But I think it's going to be a 2-horse race. And I just think that One Battle After Another is just, it just feels more like an Academy Award winning movie, too, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. And they'll probably give. I mean, they could give best. Have they ever nominated someone for best actor for playing multiple roles? Like, would they give best actor to Michael B. Jordan for playing? Does he get double credit? Does he have to be nominated for one of the roles? How does it work when you're playing two people? I don't think Eddie Murphy got nominated for Norbit, which is when it probably would have happened.
You bring up a really interesting point because it's always, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln in the movie Lincoln. You know, they
Yeah.
always say the character's name afterwards. I'm not sure,
I
though.
mean, did
I think Michael B.
Sellers get
Jordan.
nominated for Doctor Strangelove? I feel like he probably.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Here's the thing.
but
I do think that Michael B. Jordan's getting nominated, so we
yeah,
will get
I
our
agree.
answer. I just don't know how that's gonna look.
I feel like
He's
it'll
got the
probably
fourth
end up
best
being
odds.
like him. They'll probably give one to Timmy, to for Marty Supreme, depending on how the Bruce. But is Chatter good on the Bruce biopic? Are they just gonna give one to Jeremy Allen White because he's playing a famous musician?
Well, I will say that Gold Derby right now they got Leo, Timothy, Jeremy Allen White, Michael B. Jordan, and then The Rock and the Smashing Machine. That seems like a
The Rock
pretty.
in the Smash.
I mean, maybe not The Rock, but I mean the other four seem pretty. As long as Marty Supreme gets good reviews,
Yeah,
they love nominating those actors who play the music biopics. They love, like, those people always get nominated.
yeah,
And Jeremy
they
Allen
do.
White is loved in Hollywood. Like, he's getting nominated as long as that movie gets above like a 75% Rotten Tomatoes, he'll get nominated. Um, I could see potentially The Rock though not getting nominated, but we'll see. Daniel Day Lewis is coming out of retirement this week and acting in his son's
Yeah,
directorial debut.
he took a 10-day
Nepotism.
contract to retire with his son. Yeah.
He
The
wrote the
thing with the
movie.
Smashing
Makes it a
Machine and
little
The
better.
Rock just feels like it feels like the movie has just been pitched so much as like, The Rock, that big dumb idiot, like he can act now. Come take a look. Isn't that crazy? And I'm just
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It feels like so. It's one of those things that just feels so prematurely anointed. Where like before, just the fact that he's doing something slightly interesting is getting people on board to give him a nomination.
yeah, and I will say that the Academy doesn't necessarily give noms to these roles. Like, Adam Sandler has tried to gone serious a couple times, and it's never ended with him getting a nomination. I feel like there's a couple, like James Franco was getting a lot of steam for his portrayal as Tommy Wiseau, and like that didn't work out. So like, I do
Yeah,
think there's a lot of times where it's like the media is trying to push one narrative, and the Academy is like, we see right through this. And I think the Smashing Machine might be that, especially with it having a 73 on Rotten Tomatoes and it being a box office bomb. I don't have like stats in front of me, but box office bombs don't typically get good nominations. Like, if you bomb at the
yeah,
box office, it's kind of a death of a movie. Could The Rock still sneak in there and get a Best Actor nom? Yeah, maybe if he's really good. I haven't read the reviews, but I know that coming out of like some of the early film festivals was that The Rock's performance was really good in the Smashing Machine, but I'm not sure if the narrative has changed.
They actually, so I'm on Gold Derby right now too. They have Teyana Taylor as one of the favorites to be nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah,
I just don't
I
think she
was
does enough.
think we can get
She's
into
really good in it, but I just don't think she does enough in the movie. Like I don't think she's
y-
enough. She's a
do,
lingering presence throughout the movie. That is one thing. Like you always feel her presence, but she's in 25 minutes.
damn, she's got the third best odds. You know what? Like I thought about bringing her up a little bit earlier to you, but then I had the same thought where I was like, she's just simply not in this movie enough. She's great when she's in it. We'll get into spoilers. Let's just get into spoilers.
Yeah,
Um, the first like 15 minute, so this movie is basically like I don't know, a 20-minute movie, right? And then of background, and then it jumps
yeah.
16 years. About 20 minutes. Is it 30 minutes? 30 minutes? 20 minutes? How long do you think it is?
It might be a thing where
About
like it's
20?
actually longer that I don't really remember because it was good. Like,
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. And we get
yeah.
introduced with the Sean Penn character. What's his name? His name's funny. It's got a good name. Um,
Um,
Lockjaw.
yes, Colonel Lockjaw.
And so yeah, I was really digging it. Teyana Taylor, she was captivating. Every single one of the scenes she was in, she was awesome. I've never seen her in anything. I don't think.
I've only seen her in Amon Shumpert's Instagram because they were married for a little while and
Yeah,
have two children together.
and
She's
and sh
primarily a singer. She's not like she's been in some things, but she's made her. She was in the White Men Can't Jump reboot. She was in Coming
exactly
to America. Like nothing that I had
nothing that
seen
I
either. But
saw. Yeah, and so I was shocked how good she was. Like she's acting with Leo and Sean Penn, and she is by far the best person on screen in all her scenes. So
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, was she there long enough? Maybe. I mean, Mahershala Ali won for Moonlight, and he was barely in that movie, but like the first act that he was in, he was the best part in it, so they gave it to him. So maybe it's one of those things, and maybe I should have saw that coming because it does seem like Gold Derby's pretty confident that she's going to get nominated, but
yeah,
uh, um I didn't necessarily know exactly how this movie was going to start. I figured it was going to jump, but I don't know if I really saw Teyana Taylor's character like being the way that she was. Like I kind of thought when she was going to have a kid that she was going to back up a little bit, but she's just like full throttle like I guess this revolutionaryist. And like when she shot the guy, I was like, "Damn." Like to me
yeah,
that's when you realize that like all right, this movie is going to be like very very high action cuz I don't know if I necessarily thought it was going to be as much action as it was based on like the trailers.
yeah.
um I thought it was going to be more like dialogue driven, but then you like she just fucking kills somebody and then there's this big car chase scene. You're like, "Oh shit, like this is pretty sick."
Yeah. Her character also, like the decision to make her she's like an absent mother and like she's a flawed, complex character. Like she rats people out. That's the thing, is that that part of what kicks off the movie too is that the members of the French 75 start getting gunned down because she ratted everybody out. And then at some points, throughout the movie, other people also start ratting people out. But yeah, her character, and again, it's kind of this, it really feels like, oh, obviously she's going to come back because that's how these movies go. Like it's an inversion of what you come to expect from a lot of these movies, where obviously if this were the Fast and Furious, you would get a Deus Ex Machina in which Tiana Taylor descends from a helicopter and guns down Sean Penn to save her daughter, and then her and Leo have like a quip back and forth. But she doesn't come back, and she did rat everybody out, and it's messy and it's flawed, and that's what happens in real life. And it's like kind of it's like going back to what I said earlier. It's like an anti-action movie where like it doesn't you don't get the payoffs that you've come to expect from an action movie. People don't move and act like you come to expect. Because again, there's the action in this. There's never anything that breaks the realm of reality.
Mm-mm.
People just get like shot. Like the only thing that you could say is that Sean Penn didn't die in that car crash. Uh, but besides that, like again, Leo's never doing anything that cool. The best chase and like the most high octane part of this movie is a chase scene that relies on rolling hills in the desert and and she hides behind one hill and it's crazy and it's like the most tense part of the movie.
It's better than any Fast and Furious action scene ever. And
Yeah.
yeah, all it is it's playing with visibility.
Yeah, you just they keep showing the hills and they just keep going up and down.
To
And
have
I'm
the
just like,
camera, I assume on the hood is how they filmed that, was just
yeah,
so fucking sick. So sick. Um, but yeah, the Teyana Taylor character, she's like this terribly flawed character to the point of like, she has. We assume she sleeps with Lockjaw. I love how that was like a cloud of mystery hanging in the air, but never directly talked about. That like, Willa may be Lockjaw's uh, daughter.
I mean
I
it's
like how
confirmed though in the movie, right?
well, yeah. Is it though? No, it is.
It,
But I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, no one comes out and like we know, but no other character really
no,
suspects it, other than potentially Lockjaw,
yeah,
potentially,
no,
but he's not
I don't
even
think,
sure.
and I think we assume that she doesn't tell Leo, as far as I know. Again, I'm sure the point of it is also that it doesn't matter and that she is his daughter no matter what. But I feel like she doesn't tell him.
Oh, 100% she doesn't tell him. And yeah, I love that how it wasn't a big deal either, like that she didn't tell him. Like it wasn't like a should I tell like it's not I don't think she like at least for my interpretation was that she never even thought for a second that she should tell Leo or even
Yeah,
thought a little bit differently of Lockjaw once she found out that it was her dad. Like it quite literally does not mean anything to her whatsoever.
yeah,
And I thought that was super sick because yeah, like if this was a bad movie, there might have been like a dramatic scene where she like tells Leo or tells what's his name, Bob Ferguson in this movie, tells him like, "Hey, I'm or like I'm not your daughter," or like maybe she's like conflicted and going back and forth. But like here, it's just like no, she like it doesn't matter what is true. Like if she's actually you know the if Sean Penn's actually her paternal father or not. Like it does not mean anything to her. She doesn't give a shit. Leo's her very much her
yeah,
father. And so I thought that was really cool how it was handled. Because at the end of the day, like this is a father-daughter movie and their relationship is super, super cute. And he's a great father. He cares about her a lot. He
yeah,
definitely has his shortcomings, but like even when she's little, like he's the one who's caring for her.
mm,
When Tyrana Taylor's character just like she clearly like doesn't really want to be a mother. And so I thought that was really cool how it was just like very quickly not glossed over. Like obviously it's a huge scene when you find out who her real dad is, but like to her it didn't mean shit.
yeah. But I do think there's also something to be said that once you find out that Sean Penn is her father, it kind of makes Tiana Taylor's. Uh, I'm assuming she knows that too, and I feel like that kind of makes her actions maybe a little more. You view it from a different context where she was fighting against being a mother because she knew that the father of the kid was Sean Penn, and she like just could not get over that.
Wow, yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, I
But again, we don't know if she knew. I think we can assume she maybe knew, but
it would make more sense. But I just kind of think that she was kind of just like a piece of shit, to be honest. And like, because like she's a bad mom. And then for some reason, she goes and like shoots that police officer, which was kind of bullshit. And then she turns everyone in. And then she escapes to Mexico and like really never is seen from her again. And she's just kind of like a piece of shit, very selfish character. It would make a little bit more sense though if she had this internal guilt and just felt bad. That kind of makes sense why she never comes back. And it also makes sense why that letter is written the way it is, right? Because she's
Yeah.
like, you're my family, but I can't get myself to really come back. I like that. That makes more sense. It gives her a little bit more depth than just her just being a piece of shit. So I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think she actually does know that that Lockjaw is Willa's actual father, which makes more sense for her actions.
Yeah.
Did you like the letter at the end?
I did. I think, uh, it's not. It isn't anything that like absolves her mother of everything. It's not like uh, the daughter reads it and is like, overcome. It to me, it just reaffirms for her that her dad was the one that was there for her, and uh, yeah, I didn't think I didn't think again. I thought that she was going to come back, so I think that was a good play on that where I really thought she was going to be back in and she wasn't, and but yeah, I thought that uh, in general it was good. Like the letter, like I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
No, it was like I was sitting there and I'm like, I want her to come back, but at the same point in time, I don't want her to come back. It's like obviously you want her to come back just because like the whole movie is making you wonder like what it's gonna be like when they finally get reunited. But then the fact that like you don't get that, I think it makes the movie a lot better.
Yeah,
And the letter does kind of help clear up some things. My question is, when do you think the letter was written? Because like we know that Leo was holding on to it for quite some time, right? It's not
I
really
feel like
established.
8 years ago. Did he say
Did
he had
he
been?
say it?
I don't think he said specifically, but I feel like
He said he was holding on for a while. That's what I remember. And he
yeah,
couldn't get her to give it to her.
I would say like at least years, like probably
The vibe
like
was years, yeah.
10, like from the time that the daughter was like 10.
Yeah. That's kind of how I took it. I thought the scene where Lockjaw and his crew come to town and it's dark out and Leo's like very high and then he's on the run and he's like bouncing in between buildings and trying to find Benicio del Toro's character. And then they go to like Del Toro's like apartment complex that he like owns, I think. That 20-minute sequence was so intense, so good, so well shot. And like it was all setting up for this like crazy chase scene, you thought, right? Like they did a really good job of showing like how elaborate this apartment really is with all these like trap doors and stuff. And so you think that they're gonna like break in and chase Leo, and then he's on the roof, and you're like, oh, this is like really intense and all of this stuff. And you feel like it's building up to something epic, and then Leo just falls off the
Yeah, he
roof
just falls off the roof. Yeah,
and gets tased. And then I just sat there in theater. I was like, shit.
yeah. It was
But I loved it. I loved it. It was like you said, this is like the anti-action movie where you
yeah,
think it's building up to this like grand thing, and really just Leo is just a bumbling idiot who can't really do anything right.
yeah, yeah. This movie is kind of like I was thinking where it's like imagine if you had a dad who like was a crazy paranoid like borderline schizophrenic but he was right and like everyone actually was coming after him like but he is just like and that scene that you're talking about too the what Benicio del Toro is doing where he is like working with Leo to set him up but also at the same time is like telling all of the undocumented immigrants that are around like they have a plan for what they do and he's like juggling these two things simultaneously and like effortlessly and there's just like this detailed plan like it's a very satisfying thing to watch seeing Benicio del Toro just like kind of command all the rooms that he's in and just like as soon as Bob comes in and he's freaking out, he's like, you need to hide me. I need a gun. He's just like, calm down. I know exactly what we're gonna do. Come with me. Like, see, he was just like, seeing him be that competent and in control was it was satisfying and also funny at the same time. As well as Leo yelling on the phone with the guy trying to get the passcode was so funny. just
So
freaking out at him.
so funny. And then eventually how does it eventually it's when Wood Harris comes back in, right? And
No, I don't think it's Wood Harris. I think Wood Harris gets It's someone else that's on the phone with him. Uh, but he's like, give me your supervisor, and his supervisor knows who he is, and I cannot remember who it was. But no, I think Wood Harris gets captured in the early scene when after Teyana Taylor uh, rats on everybody. I think because Alana Haim gets killed, Wood
yeah.
Harris gets arrested.
It
Someone
reminded me
else.
of you know what movie it reminded me of? Incredibles when like all the superheroes start getting killed.
Oh
And then
yeah,
it's just done so nonchalantly and like
yeah,
yeah, like I was like, oh, I thought I was supposed to be caring about these characters, and they're just like picking them off one by one, pretty
yeah.
unceremoniously.
When
Yeah,
Alana Haim just gets shot in the head, I was shocked. Like I was like, is she dead? Like I assumed that it was gonna be all those people were gonna get captured and maybe they'd come back and maybe like we're gonna free them or something. But it was like no, just like everybody was either arrested or gunned down immediately by Sean Penn.
yeah, yeah, crazy. Um,
I'm glad they also mentioned that Sean Penn looked insane in this movie because Sean Penn, he's so fucking jacked. He is like, and at one point, Chase Infiniti is like, "Why is your shirt so tight?" And I'm like, "I'm glad someone mentioned it because his shirt is so tight. He's got the weirdest hair. He like has this like empty like look on his face the whole time, just like seething with anger and rage and sexual tension. The scene where he confronts Leo in the grocery store and is asked him if he likes black girls and he's just like
yeah,
what
he's got
and
to
he's
love
like I
him.
love yeah insane uh and
He's
again
so
I like and he was just obviously it was funny that he was serving himself the entire time like he wasn't a classic a villain who served some higher purpose or anything. Like he was trying to get into the mega racist club. He wanted to have sex with Leo's wife. Like he was fully self-serving the entire time.
yeah,
And then he
yeah.
gets gassed and burned.
Yeah, I think my only thing where I was like, we could have cut that out was the Sean Penn gassing scene.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it was funny, but it was kind of a little bit unnecessary. But I mean, I was fine with it, but it did feel a little bit unnecessary. My question is, the guy, what's that clan called that they're trying to
The
join? It
Christmas
was
Adventurers Club.
Christmas, which is hilarious that they were called the Christmas Adventures Club, and like that meeting in that bunker or whatever at that guy's house was really funny. Um, like the guy who invites him and then ends up shooting Sean Penn. That was the same dude, right? And then he dies because I thought
No,
I almost
the guy who
was that a
shot Sean.
hitman?
It was someone else in the Christmas Adventurers Club, but Sean Penn did not know him. He wasn't part of that initial group that
Okay,
Sean Penn met with. But I would think, I mean, Sean Penn must have just like gotten shot in the face really quickly and not realized. But like, if you're Sean Penn, clearly someone was after you and shot you in the face. Like, why would you try and join the Christmas Adventurers Club after that? Like, maybe he just thought it was. Maybe he thought it was really fast, and he thought it was like Leo or someone that did it, or just one of his other enemies. But to me, it just felt like you just got shot in the face by the Christmas Adventurers Club, dude. Clearly, they're not going to let you just walk out of here. But I guess maybe he just didn't know. But yeah, he hadn't met the guy that shot him.
okay, because I Virgil's the guy who Throckmorton was the guy who we initially meet from the Christmas Adventures
Yeah,
Club. So that's not the guy who shoots Sean Penn in the car. That's
no,
someone
because
different.
he's there at the end.
Yeah, he's there at the end. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, it's some other guy. I forget. I think it was Tim Smith. Was that his name in the movie?
Smith. Yeah, Tim
Yeah,
Smith.
Tim Smith.
Okay. All right. Whatever. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess he does get shot so quickly and it's like in a moving car. that
Yeah.
maybe he didn't know. And also, I think it's one of those things where he was just like wanting to be in this club so badly that he probably was
Yeah.
also a little bit denial. Um, like ridiculous that he lives it, but I did like the gassing scene. Like the gassing scene
Yeah.
was funny. It was a good like when he survived the crash. I was a little pissed off, and then when they gassed him, I was like, okay, that was done for laughs. I'm cool with that. It makes me a little bit less pissed that Lockjaw somehow survived that
Yeah.
because watching it. Also, like the way that they put his face back together afterwards, and he just looks so dang ridiculous.
Yeah. The
They,
entire side of his face.
it's just yeah. That guy was an absolute lunatic, and Sean Penn, I really really hope gets nominated.
Yeah.
Actually, he's gonna get nominated. I hope he wins. Like it
He
was such a sick
he already
performance.
has 2 Oscars, does he not? Didn't he win for Milk and Mystic River? I'm pretty sure he already has 2.
Damn, he definitely won. You're right. I think he does have 2.
I could have sworn Sean Penn was like 85 years old, and he's only 65. I thought he was so old. I'm like, 65 is not. Yeah, he has 2 actors, and he won
Yeah,
his best lead for both, for Mystic River and Milk.
he hasn't been nominated since Milk in '08 though. But man, um, yeah, like I can't really remember the last movie I've seen him in. So it was fun that he was in this role and
Yeah,
as good as he was. Like it was really sick. Um, back to Del Toro's character. I loved him. I was really worried that he was gonna flip or something, especially early on. Like I wasn't necessarily fully trusting him,
yeah,
and then finally when he picks him up at the hospital is when I was like, all right, he's a good dude because he says something like, I can't believe I saved a French 75 member twice today or what something like that, and then you realize that he just really respects Leo and what Leo does,
yeah.
and that's why he's helping him out. But my thing is that do we know what happens to him after the whole DUI thing?
You only see him testing for the DUI. You just see him doing the dance, and I think the last thing he says is like, "I've had a few small beers,"
Yeah, that's
and
it,
I
right?
think
You never see him again?
yeah, which you only which was 10 minutes to 5 minutes after Leo jumped off the car. So you don't see anything after that. I think we assume he's okay. Like I think I think they
Yeah,
would have. I don't think he gets any type of comeuppance. Like I think
yeah.
he's all right, but you don't see
I,
him after that now.
I mean, I think he gets a DUI probably, right? But that's about
Yeah.
it. Because they even just think that he threw like some beers out the window. Did not like they're like, what'd you throw? Like was it like
Oh yeah.
alcohol? So like they're pretty non-suspicious of Del Toro's character. So ridiculous that he's drinking and driving. So unnecessary, but
It's so funny that like when he picks him up from the hospital,
he,
and immediately Leo's like, "Oh fuck yeah, let's do this thing," and like grabs
yeah,
the Modelo.
just the boys being boys. Um, yeah, like this movie is very, very funny.
Yeah.
We're like a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson movies are funny, but then there's some that are just like not funny at all. Like There Will Be Blood, there's no jokes being made. Phantom Thread, I don't remember ever laughing at anything there. And so I think it's a nice blend where like what's happening is super, super serious,
Yeah.
but the characters themselves aren't taking themselves very serious, which is what made this movie so enjoyable. And like Lockjaw is hilarious, though he's not making jokes. Like you're supposed to be laughing at a lot of the stuff that he is doing because he's just such a ridiculous human being.
Yeah.
That it just that's what makes this movie fly by so fast. It's just like it's fun. I think there's even more like funny quotes in this movie that like if I watch it on a second time and I wasn't so captivated by the plot that I would like laugh at and pick up more on, because half the time I'm like super intense, because you really do feel like someone may die, especially like Del Toro's character. Like
Yeah.
you think that like there's very very high stakes, like the
Oh,
nuns, the sisters, like
the thing that made me really laugh at one point when uh Lockjaw says something along the lines of like, "I believe she was a sperm thief," and then one of the other guys goes, "A semen demon," and he's like, "Exactly, yes." They have the IMDb page has the whole back and forth uh, of him being like fuck you. If you don't give me the Rondé point, I swear to God, I will hunt you down and stick a loaded fucking hot piece of dynamite right up your asshole. Okay, this doesn't feel safe. You're violating my space right now. And it is the whole thing.
Well, yeah, he's like, you're a revolutionarius, and you're, yeah, like that line was hilarious. Where he like,
Yeah,
yeah, he's like, why are you being so soft? You're a revolutionarius, like, oh, dude,
yeah.
yeah,
I think
that
this is
whole,
Leo's best performance. Like, and you look at, not to say any, obviously Leonardo DiCaprio is not someone who his filmography needs to be lauded any more than it is. But if you look at the like movies that he's been in, it's not like he's like he has not been in a flop or in like a bad movie in a long like say what you want about uh something like Don't Look Up, but people watched it and it
it
was
was
like
nominated for
once
Best Picture.
yeah, Once Upon a Time in so it goes
Yeah,
one battle after another, Killers of the Flower Moon, Don't Look Up, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Revenant for which he won Best Actor, The Wolf of Wall Street, which is maybe his like defining career performance, The Great Gatsby, Django Unchained, J. Edgar, which I feel like was kind of an Oscar baity flop, but then Inception the year before that. Like he's been on a 15-year like impeccable run right now.
yeah,
Like and a lot of varied roles in there too. This is a departure from the Jordan Belfort and the Jay Gatsby that we knew of Leo in 2013. Like he's now at that age where he can play a drunk old dad.
yeah. No, I agree, and it's funny that we're almost an hour in. Yeah, we're an hour into this podcast, and we're finally talking about Leo.
Yeah.
But I, I don't think it's because Leo's not awesome in this movie. I think we just take him for granted. But I agree with you. This is arguably my favorite Leo DiCaprio performance ever. Just because like this character is so much fun. He's so funny in it. It's so different than like anything else that I've seen him in. And he's just having a fun time. Like this is probably actually Inherited Vice is really similar to this movie. Both adapted off the same author's name. I'm drawing a
Thomas
blank on it.
Pynchon.
Yeah, both they adapt off Pynchon novels. Um, and so in that movie, Joaquin Phoenix is playing like this stoner dude, which is pretty similar to One Battle After Another, Leo DiCaprio. But like you expect Joaquin Phoenix to play that role because Joaquin Phoenix is probably a stoner in real life. Like Leo, I haven't really seen him playing like this just fun, lovable stoner guy that he plays in this movie, but he's just so dang good in it. And like, yeah, it
Yeah.
couldn't be farther from The Revenant. It couldn't be farther than like Wolf of Wall Street being like the wise guy. It couldn't be more farther from like, I don't know, Killer of a Flower Moon. Like it really, really works really well.
Yeah.
And it
It's a
makes it
bit
so much
honestly
fun to
like
watch.
the end of The Departed when he's kind of losing his mind. Like when he's in the,
Yeah.
he's meeting with his psychiatrist and he's like, I'm so fucked up in the head. And like he's free, like that level of like, dude, like bordering on delusions, losing his mind. Except at that point in The Departed, he was like, he weighed 110 pounds and was like less than 10 years removed from the Titanic and was still like a pretty boy. And now he's in his 50s.
Yeah. And he's just kind of schlubby looking and it
Yeah.
just works really well.
I think they do a good job of making him look younger too. That's it. Like when the 16 years before compared to the 16 years later, you do feel like that time has passed.
They did do a good job of it. I'm not sure if they went CGI or makeup. I think they
I feel
just
like it's just makeup.
I think it's just makeup too cuz like man, The Irishman, I still have nightmares about de-aging De Niro in it. Like that
Oh,
just doesn't
them
look good, you know?
kicking on the street, beating that guy up when they're
Oh
fake
man.
25 or whatever.
Like wearing like platform shoes. Oh man. The Irishman sucks. Um, yeah, I agree with you. He looked youthful. Also, like I like the way that his character like emotionally aged in 16 years. He
Yeah.
was a little bit more competent back then. You could just tell he's kind of beat up by society and like now super anxious older man. Yeah. So yeah, that he's gonna get nominated for best actor. I don't think he's gonna win, but for sure he'll get nominated.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like, I mean, again, it's early, but it doesn't seem an incredibly strong year. There's a lot of. Has this movie Hamnet come out? Everything is saying that this movie that Hamnet is going to get every Oscar nomination, but I have not seen hide nor hair of it. Uh, it
Hamnet.
must have premiered at a festival,
It premiered at a festival. It's not coming out until I don't think until
November.
yeah,
Yeah.
like around Thanksgiving. Um,
Paul Mescal
it,
as William Shakespeare. Sign me the fuck up. Never mind, I'm in.
yeah, it's about like the Shakespeare family and like what made him write Hamnet, something like that.
What made
Um,
him write Hamlet, you mean?
yeah, and
Or
like
is okay, they have a son
someone's
named
etched.
Hamnet.
Yeah, yep. And that
I mean,
led
this is
to
classic Oscar movie shit.
yeah. Chloe Zhao's the director of
Chloe,
it, so
yeah. Did
so
she do Coda? No.
she did whatchamacallit, Nomadland.
Nomadland, yes, the year
Yeah.
before Coda, yeah.
Yep. And
And then she did
so
everyone's favorite movie, Eternals.
yeah. Do you like Eternals? I never saw it, but it just
It
seems
was
like that.
it was fine.
It
It was
seems
it
like
was
that movie.
the middling.
It gets shitted on. I feel like it probably shouldn't get shitted on as much as it does. It seems like people love to
It's
shit on that
not
movie.
it's not that much worse. It's probably better than most like of the DC. It's much better than most of the DC output. It's better than fucking Aquaman was and The Flash was. Like it was just like a fine superhero movie.
Well, it's funny that they want nothing to do with it. Like those characters will never be seen of again in
I
the
know. They
Mark.
introduced Harry Styles and Patton Oswalt at the end. It
Oh.
also did have a reunion of Robb Stark and Jon Snow in it, so that was enough for me to give it a thumbs up. That happened, and I was just like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen."
Uh,
Oh, can I talk about something somewhat related to the movie?
yeah, go for it.
Okay, this is, and you can clip this, and we'll go viral because this is me complaining. Movie theater etiquette is out of control. Everyone's terrible. Everyone's on their worst fucking behavior. I had to move in one battle after another. The woman next to me was on her phone the entire first 15 minutes. The entire movie, or the entire first 15 minutes of this movie, she was on her phone. I moved down one row because there was no one sitting there. The row in front of me, like clockwork, this guy would pull his phone up in front of his dumb fucking face every 10 minutes and not trying to hide. Like, here, like how I am holding my phone now. And he was in the back row of the front section, so everyone looking down could fucking see this guy checking like football scores or whatever. I was probably checking the fucking ALDS because it was Friday. Uh, but like, what is? I don't understand it. Like, is this? Has it always been bad? It honestly, and it seems to go beyond age, race, or creed. Like, it's no one type of person that's doing this. It's literally everyone cannot get off their fucking phones. I know you said last time we recorded that you check the time sometime, but like the idea, like it's just the most basic social contract we have as a society, and it's just been thrown out the door. And I want to go to a movie theater where they literally put your phones in those bags. That's my rant.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, I will probably look at my phone one time during the course of a movie, but I kind of just like look at it really quickly and put it down. But I'm highly addicted to my phone, but I don't pull it out to check ALDS scores or send a text. But every once in a while I will just look very quickly. That is true. But
Yeah.
did you listen to the Caught Stealing pod with me and Keegan? It's all right if you didn't.
No, I didn't. I hadn't seen Caught Stealing yet, and I still haven't, so I hadn't listened.
Well, one of the most just to say how bad theater etiquette's become. It was me. It was my day off during the week, so it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday morning at like 10 a.m. I saw Caught Stealing. Right, so it was me and literally one other dude in the theater, small ass theater, and the guy was sitting the row in front of me, like I don't know, like 3 seats in front of me, like but the row in front of me, right? So like kind of diagonal to me, and he was like the 6-year-old dude. And me and him were just chilling, enjoying our time. It's the climax of Caught Stealing. Um, and it's a really intense climax. Another dude walks into the theater, and I was like, was this guy always here? Did he go to the bathroom? Like, when the hell did he get here? He walks up to the guy who's sitting in front of me because the guy sitting in front of me was sitting in the handicap row. He walks up to him. He goes, "Hey, how much is left in this movie?" And the guy goes, I don't know, 15 minutes. He goes, all right, I'm here. I'm here to see the movie after it. And the guy just very loudly and understandably goes, dude, I'm trying to watch the end of this movie. Can you leave?
That's crazy.
And the guy who was standing up seemed like offended. And he turns around and walks out of the theater. It was one of the most bizarre things ever. So crazy. It blew my mind that someone would actually think that that was socially acceptable to do in a movie theater.
That's crazy. I assume this is something that's always gone on, and the worst of people will always be bad. But like, cell phones have made it so much worse. Like people cannot. Like people are like indignant to think that they couldn't look at their cell phone. They're like, "What do you mean I can't look at my phone? I paid to be here. Like I can look at my phone." And honestly,
Yeah.
then it just makes me all because I'm just like, do I say something? Do I yell that? The first girl next to me, I was just like, the thing is too, and like I go to movies alone, as you can
Yeah.
tell from the way I'm dressed. I
Yeah.
like and oftentimes it's people who are like on a date or something, or it's people in a group, and I'm like, I'm gonna seem like such a fucking dork if I'm like, excuse me, I'm seeing Wicked alone right now. Please stop talking. Like and that's what was going on. It was like four people who were all friends, and we're talking to each other, and this girl was on her phone, and I'm like, I'm fighting a losing battle here. I need to just move seats.
Yeah. I had a coworker that literally our other coworker stopped going to movies with her because she talked during movies. And he told her straight to her face, he's like, I don't like going to see movies with you because you talk during them. And
Yeah,
she was like offended that she was like, I need to talk during movies though. Like that is really bad. Like if I knew somebody, I don't really know anyone like that. But if I knew somebody who wanted to go to a movie theater just to like talk to me during it, I would never go to a movie with them
yeah,
ever.
no.
You,
That's again, there's one fucking rule. I guess there's two now because you have cell phones. There's two rules. Put your phone down and shut up. And this is the one place in the world where that's the one place left in America where I can just sit peacefully for 2 hours and drink a large Diet Coke and not have to think about anything else. And then I just get worked up because I see a phone and I'm like, oh God.
I I agree that there's something relaxing about a movie theater where you're like, see, that's why like, when I watch, I do a really bad habit of like watching a sporting event or watching a movie at home, and then I'm like on my phone like periodically during it, and then I'm just
Yeah.
like, I missed the whole last drive of that football game. Like, why was I on my phone? And so I like the fact that like at a movie theater, it's so taboo to be on your phone that I am locked in, because a lot of times like I don't want to be looking at my phone, but then it's just like you just start scrolling and you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
And so like I do like how it's a safe space and like you have to actually like pay attention because it
Yeah.
helps me actually focus. Um, I yeah, I think it's gotten worse. I think people are more addicted to their phones. I think people always talk during theaters going experience. Unfortunately, that's kind of why like I don't really go on like Friday or Saturday nights.
Well,
Because I
again,
don't.
yeah, this was my first time going on a Friday night because, as a Regal Unlimited member, I'm trying to find times where other people are not there.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
so much better. It's like, maybe for a big movie, it's nice, seeing something like Mission Impossible. I mean, I guess this
Yeah,
was a big movie, but like a theater experience can be additive. I think it was good to see like Sinners in a crowded theater. But most of the time, if I'm just like going to see something, I'm like, can I see this at 10 a.m. on a Sunday, or can I go on my day off?
yeah. No, I agree. It's much better. Also, I don't really understand like my one friend, she recently came out of a long relationship and she was like, "Now I can't even like go see movies anymore because I don't have someone to go with." I don't understand why some people think that they can't go see a movie alone. Like you
Yeah,
literally sit down in a quiet, dark room for 2 hours.
yeah,
It's probably one of the like few things that makes sense to do alone. Like
yeah,
I, I once you go to a movie theater alone, you realize like that was a great way to spend 2 hours by myself. It's sick.
yeah. it was such a freeing experience. I remember the first movie I saw alone, I believe, was 2019's Captain Marvel because I think I saw it and I just like on a and that was it took until I was 22 years old to even like consider that. But then once you break that levy, you're like, why the fuck was I ever going with other people to see? Like even something as simple as like scheduling, like my girlfriend Haley, like we have, there's certain movies where she's like, okay, that like something like Sinners, she's like, we're going to see that together. But then she's like, oh, I can't do, we have to wait. And I'm like, I fucking hate waiting. Like I
Yeah.
see a movie when I want to see it when I'm by myself, and I can go. I know exactly how long it takes to get there. I know exactly how long I can like how long to walk there. I know exactly what I want. I know what seats I'm gonna pick. Like it does not maybe again like you said, like once you do it once, you're like, oh, I need to do this all the time. There's no reason for there to ever be someone else in this movie.
No, and I think the worst thing is that me and King talked a little bit about this last time. It's like every time I go with other people, it's really hard for me to convince them, like, hey, we're showing up 15 minutes late to this movie because I don't want to sit through 20 minutes of trailers, you
Yeah.
know? But like when you try to explain to somebody who doesn't go to the movie theater very often, they have a really tough time grasping that concept. And then when you like show up super early, you're just like, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
oh man. Yeah, man. Go see a movie by yourself. It's a very freeing thing. That's my final take on one battle after another.
Yeah.
Anything
um
anything else to add?
Anything else to add? I'm trying to think.
Did you think that Sean Penn was her father the whole entire time? Because I was expecting that to happen.
Really, I was not. I had no. I was totally tricked, and I thought they were going to reverse it too. I thought that they were. It was going to be that he wasn't her father, and he was like, well, what the fuck have I been doing chasing you like this? Like, what a waste of time.
Yeah, no, it
But
could
no,
it could have went both ways for sure. But
I
I
also
just
didn't even like, we didn't see them have sex. Like, we saw them in the hotel room, but what we saw was like Teyana Taylor BDSMing him. So I didn't even think of that as like a possibility. Like, isn't what we saw like Teyana Taylor like pinning him up against the wall and like gonna shove something in his ass?
no, I agree. I thought when that scene first happened, I was like, oh, that was just kind of like funny and ridiculous. But then once it started being talked about that he was like nervous and like was hunting her down because he thought he could be her father, that's when I was like, I bet
Oh
that
yes.
she's
Once they introduce it, yeah. Okay, that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were
Not
saying
not
you clocked
initially
it from the
not
beginning.
initially when it happened. I wasn't really thinking that because I agree. I didn't even think that they like really had like actual sexual intercourse. I thought it was just like BDSM stuff, but
Yeah.
apparently not, which is kind of
Um,
interesting. But whatever.
yeah, there's not there is we didn't talk about the guy who has the change of heart and saves Willa because Sean Penn can't kill her because of his conscience or whatever. So he drops her off with a hitman. He says he won't kill kids, and then
Yeah, then he goes
that
back
hitman drops him off, and then he ends up shooting
and
all of
killing
them and
everybody.
saving her.
I
Uh,
didn't love that part, to be honest, because it just felt like, why are we doing this? And like, why is this guy saving the day when it's like we don't really know much about him?
yeah,
But
it's the most forgettable part, I would say, because we just
yeah,
didn't even mention it.
we should actually take a second to really talk about that chase scene because we talked about it before we got into spoilers. But man, was that chase scene sick.
Yeah.
To have all three cars like that, to have them rolling over the rolling hills. And like, to be honest, I didn't necessarily think that that was how it was going to happen. I just kind of thought someone was going to lose a car or like a tire was going to blow out or something.
Yeah.
I didn't think that that's what it was leading up to. I think but I did notice at one point that like, wow, there's actually a pretty large gap between the two of them. And then yeah, to have the wherewithal to be like, I'm gonna slam on my brakes here and then get out of this car because you won't be able to see me was pretty sick. Um, and yeah, the way that it was shot, where like it seemed pretty realistic that you, especially if you're going that fast, you wouldn't be able to see over that hill quick enough to slam on the brakes. I thought that was super sick. Um, And I really like the tracking devices. And what do they say? The code that they say to each other to show that they're real, or
Oh
that
man, what is it?
it's something funny.
Because the the thing on the phone is what time is it? And the answer is that time will not exist when we succeed or something. The other, oh my God, I can't. Because she
Yeah.
yells it at the guy who's the white supremacist, uh, and he has no idea what she's talking about. Then she shoots him.
But I will say that I was nervous that she was going to shoot Leo. Like I really was expecting it,
Yes. Oh,
and
for
I was
sure.
just like,
The cadence of it. She's like, oh, and he's like, well, I don't know what that means.
yeah. Well, anyways, I thought she was going to shoot him, and I was just
Yeah,
like, if she shoots him here, I will start sobbing in this theater, and I'm going to be so upset and sad and just like, yeah, unconsolable. So thank God that's not how that went. Really, really cute scene. Their relationship is just so dang cute.
yeah,
Um, just a really good father daughter movie.
yeah. It's also there's a movie like this, maybe not, but like this relationship could also be very depicted as like black and white, where she's like, I hate my fucking dad because he doesn't let me have a cell phone and he's crazy and a drunk. But obviously relationships are more complicated than that. Like she still loves her dad and he is still a caring father despite his own flaws and his own personal hangups. And a more simple version of this movie is just like, I hate you, dad. You never, and like she runs away or something like that. But like the fact that despite all his flaws, she does still love them, loves him and he loves her, makes the relationship more interesting and makes you more invested.
I love how competent of a 17-year-old she is. Like
Yeah.
how she can see that, right? She's like rebellious and she has a cell phone, doesn't tell him, but at the end of the day, like she can totally see like where his anxiety is coming from, because literally his whole entire life is revolving around taking care of Willow, like
Yeah.
completely. Like he really doesn't do anything else. I don't think he has a job. I think he's just in the witness protection and he just pretty much smokes pot every day.
He's not, he's in like underground witness protection
French
though.
75 witness protection. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. His mom, his wife, or baby mama, they're married, right? Whatever. She's in witness protection, but yeah, you're right. Leo's not. Leo's in fake witness protection.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Where does this rank on your PTA? Give me like your top three PTA. We don't need to go through the whole thing, but like, is this top three PTA?
Yeah, let me pull up
I think
PTA's
this is
thing.
third for me. I
So
haven't
for
seen
me,
all of PTA, but I think this is like third.
I've seen every PTA movie. I feel very comfortable saying that PTA is one of my top 5 favorite directors of all time. For me, my favorite PTA movie is Magnolia. I just love it. I think all the different storylines, you see those movies done so many times and it just like doesn't work out.
Yeah,
Those are actually beautifully woven together. The soundtrack's sick, and like have you seen it?
I have not.
The music number that they sing as the frogs are falling from the sky, that's like a very, very light spoiler. That's one of my favorite scenes in movies, and how it just ties everything together. Just super beautiful film. Tom Cruise character in the movie is hilarious. So Magnolia is one for me. Two is There Will Be Blood. Obviously just like a cinematic masterpiece. Daniel Day-Lewis performance is absolutely all time, incredibly captivating. Number three for me is probably One Battle After Another.
Yeah,
Um, I think extremely highly of it. I obviously talked about it to death today. Number four is where it gets a little bit interesting, because there's a lot of movies that I like, but I don't necessarily love. Hard Eight, I think, is a really good, directorial debut, but I wouldn't put in my top five. Boogie Nights is too bloated. I think it's actually overrated. Punch Drunk Love is a beautiful film, but a tad bit boring. The Master, I think, is also a beautiful film, but bloated and a tad bit boring. It's probably Inherited Vice. I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance there
Inherent
is just
Vice.
Inherent Vice. I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance there is just so awesome. You feel like you're stoned watching it, which is probably intentional because Joaquin Phoenix's character is just completely incompetent in that movie. It was also the first PTA movie I saw, and so I think that I thought I'm like, wow, this is such a cool style here. And then number 5 for me is probably Licorice Pizza. I don't really care for Phantom Thread. I also think it's kind of a boring, bloated movie. Licorice Pizza, a hangout movie for sure. But just a cool, really cool hangout movie. Takes place in SoCal. I'm a sucker for that vibe, that aesthetic. So I think Licorice Pizza's 5 for me. So for me, it goes Magnolia 1, There Will Be Blood 2, One Battle for Another 3, Inherited Vice 4, and Licorice Pizza 5.
Inherent Vice. Stop saying Inherited Vice.
Inheritance Vice.
You love this movie so much. Inherited Vice. Yeah, I think for me, number 1 is honestly The Master. I was like
Really? Yeah.
floored by The Master. I watched The Master recently, so I'm like I'm a completely like new convert to PTA. I had watched Punch Drunk Love, and I had watched Boogie Nights, and I had watched The Big Lebowski, all within like a week and a half, and then I watched The Master. And seeing Philip Seymour Hoffman like transform from who he is in Boogie Nights and who he is in Big Lebowski to like this like just absolutely fucking dominating the screen in The Master. Like it made me so sad too, because like just looking at Philip Seymour Hoffman, I'm like, this guy was the greatest actor of his fucking generation, and he died maybe before he was 50. He was like 50 years old or so. Like it's so sad.
Yeah, I think he was early 40s actually. Yeah, when he died. Yeah,
it was like an added element of that, and then probably There Will Be Blood 2 and this 3, I would say, and then up in the air with some of the other ones. But like, yeah, There Will Be Blood. I had no idea what There Will Be Blood was about. Like, I honestly, I only knew the milkshake scene. I knew that, and in my head, a lot of those scenes that are famous scenes are. I didn't realize that they come at a time that is also like at his lowest points. Like the I drink your milkshake scene, it's so iconic, and it kind of seems like, man, absolute ownage of Paul Dano in this moment. He's poning him so hard. But it's also just like the lowest moment of his life, and like his son has just left him, and he's an absolute drunk. But yeah, There Will Be Blood, hot take, There Will Be Blood, good. Probably better than No Country for Old Men. They always get compared because of when they came out, even though they're extremely different movies, like totally different movies. They're just both people wearing cowboy hats in them or whatever. But yeah, and then this is probably third, and this is also one of the movies that more than the other ones that I think if it's ever on TV, it'll play a lot better. You know, like. It's not like if I saw a little, I'm like, oh, let's check out a little bit of The Master, check out a little bit of like the fact that you can it's because it's an action movie. So I feel like one battle after another is going to have legs too.
For sure. I agree. Probably nothing since Boogie Nights is as funny as this movie either. Because Boogie Nights is one of those movies.
Punch Drunk Love was funny. It was like absurdly funny.
That's true.
But it's not a ton of laugh at. It's a very odd Sandler performance because it's like Sandler is always, even when he's like being silly, he still kind of has like a leg up on people. You know, he's still like, even when he's like the downtrodden Happy Gilmore, he still like has one up on fucking Shooter McGavin. But in Punch Drunk Love, he's just like a fucking loser in a way that he's not typically. But yeah, you're right. This one, Punch Drunk Love, despite being an outright comedy, is not as funny as this movie.
No. Yeah, I agree. Anything you watch recently that you want to discuss?
I watched the movie Sleeping with Other People today. It's a Jason Sudeikis and Alison Brie rom-com from 2015. Of a recommendation from my friend Kevin Stefanson. Very good. It's hard to make. I think there's a lot of complaint that there's not a lot of good modern rom-coms, and it's very much in the vein of When Harry Met Sally. Can two people be friends that are like a man and woman who like each other be friends? But it's like kind of I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. So I'd recommend that. I'm trying to think. What did I just watch? I've been going, like I said last time, I've been going through the Coen brothers filmography. And I'm up to Burn After Reading, which I thought was okay, honestly. That's
Keegan's favorite Coen brothers movie.
That's crazy. I saw some people saying how funny it was. It just like did not really click for me. Like and no like
Oh,
I enjoyed it, but I did not think that like I Brad Pitt is like the star of that movie, but I just don't think overall it really was that funny to me. And maybe I'm being a stickler, and maybe I've just watched too many Coen Brothers movies in a row and I've been binging them, but
yeah. I think that movie is just so. I think that movie's really funny. I think it's a little ridiculous that Keegan calls it his favorite Coen Brothers movie. It's probably not even my top five, but it's super
it's not
super
in my
funny.
top 10. I think I have it ranked like 11.
Probably not in my top 10 either. I haven't seen them all though. I haven't seen like a lot of their early stuff, like Barton Fink. I've seen, but I haven't seen like Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona
But
kicks ass. I recommend that. Raising Arizona is definitely top
I'm
five for
sure
me
it's
for the
sick.
Coens.
I mean, Fargo's sick. The Big Lebowski, arguably my favorite by their. Well, Inside Llewyn Davis, my favorite by them. But yeah,
Oh, I can't wait to watch
no.
Inside Llewyn Davis again.
So, are you watching in order?
Yeah.
All right.
So next, I think next is True Grit.
Okay. I have everything I've seen. I talk about in this podcast for the most part. I haven't watched anything that hasn't been talked about in this podcast recently. So, um, Liam, thank you for coming on. This was
Thank you
a
for
good
having me, Mike
time.
Jennison.
Yep. This will movie that I think is going to have a lot of legs. Will be talked about a lot during the awards season. Bye,
All
guys.
right. Talk to you later, Mike. See ya.
Peace.